Whew. Yeah, I think that's everything. What a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Birds are singing. There are actually no birds outside at the moment. Lies are being told to the audience. It's the usual. But today's stream will be anything but usual. I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans going forward for the next 4 months or so. Mostly the next month or two, but also like some other announcements. And hopefully get some questions from you all. And also, of course, answer questions about the Framework Battle Royale contest that we've been running. I've gotten a lot of submissions by now. I think we're up to 30, 35, thereabouts. And more cuts. I previously said like there were almost none that I was cutting, but there have been more cuts. It's not that I'm getting more strict. There have been more that have been like not as good or really good, which is exciting. Like that's good. We want a range of them. One thing I think will be great about this is to be able to see a variety, but they've all been like reasonable builds. Like there haven't been any builds that I was just like, this is bad. A lot of them just don't really fit the contest. And a few have broken the rules, but not very many. Mostly it's been really, really good. So I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I'm going to talk about like agenda, where we are going first, because it's pretty exciting. Like there's a lot happening in the next 4 months. I'm actually feeling a little worried I'm not going to be able to keep up, but I do have a good amount of free time now. So as long as I grow from this experience, like to be blunt, financially, I feel like it's probably going to be fine, and I will. We are already. Thank you and welcome to a lot of new patrons. Quite a few, some people in coffee as well. So I appreciate it. So let me just let people know we're here. Pre-stream, and we'll talk about that first on YouTube, has begun. Boop. And then we will talk about agenda stuff. And I'll tell you where we're going. You can give me your questions. And we're going to do a few quick little Nightwave things before I jump onto Twitch. Cool. Welcome back, folks. Benjamin, welcome back. Redeemer, welcome back. Odinai, welcome back. Jab, welcome back. Akabir, welcome back. Not listed, you said, how does Gauss affect the Warframe racing meta? Gauss really is around B tier, the way I said in the video I released on him. After we raced with him, it did become very clear that while he is definitely not bad, like by no means does saying he's not an A tier mean he's like not fast. He is very situational, and there are a lot of environments where there simply is no straight path through the environment, and it's just not efficient to use his Mach Rush. He still has good base speed, like it's still really valuable. Just like with Korra, like Korra is C tier, but Korra is great because she's so consistent, and Gauss has that too, but he has that tech to go a little bit further. And it is like using Redline to help you kill the cap target is legitimately like it feels good. I don't know how much of an impact it really has on his viability, but it feels powerful, So yeah, he's good. I don't think he's any better than I claimed he was. I think I was right on the money. He is high B tier. He's good, but he's not amazing. He is decidedly worse than A tier. But he is still very good, and he can still win, even though he is definitely slower overall. He's pretty rewarding to learn to play. He's really fast if you learn a straight line through the tile, and he's really rewarding of like a bit of a let's just go for it attitude, where like you see a complicated environment and you think, let's see if I can go through this. Like, let me just hit Mach Rush and hope it works out. And like, he does reward that more reckless playstyle pretty well, which a lot of frames don't, which is nice. So yeah, he's a lot of fun to race with as well. He's definitely competitive. I think he is the best non-A tier frame. And again, remember, my tiers are not like ordered or really that strict. Ultimately, they're just on a spectrum. They're just there to help you visually organize like how it feels. And Gauss is like in B tier according to me as a way to organize it because people like tier lists. But truth be told, like he's just right behind all the A tier frames. Like it doesn't really matter, like what tier exactly. But he's great. He's a lot of fun. It's a good question, and I highly recommend you try him if you can make it to a stream. Welcome back, Cordy. What's going on? Gotcha, Dron. Welcome aboard. How you doing today? If Gauss could steal a speed buff, he has a good chance to go full for it. Yeah, if you get like a Volt buff, that happened quite a few times because Volt is rather popular for races, of course. He's a monster if you get a Volt speed buff. Like the field of view especially just freaks out. Like it's a bit nauseating, but it's very good. It feels good. Yeah, slide mods are useful too. Arataki said, will you stream on Twitch and YouTube or only on Twitch? You cannot stream on Twitch and another platform at the same time if you're monetized on Twitch. That's against their terms of service. So we're streaming here on YouTube, so I can say hi to you all here, and then we're going to go to Twitch in probably an hour or so. And I'm actually going to talk about that right now, so thank you for asking. Definitely an important thing to discuss. But just to be clear, you cannot stream on Twitch and another platform at the same time if you are monetized on Twitch. That's against their terms of service. Socially pessimistic is one doesn't scale with strength, only sprint speed. Macroshaft, because the dash is so rewarding if you get a straight, and because it stops immediately when you hit something, it's not too punishing to just slam it. But I definitely see what you mean, wasting your time with dashes. But it's still pretty fast. It's just got good... Loki isn't S tier. There's nothing S tier about Loki. I put him in A tier. And it's not about raw speed. Anybody who's ever raced before knows it's not about raw speed. I'm not going to bother talking about that anymore. I hope that makes sense. What's a good ESO frame other than Saren? MAME Equinox is as good, if not better, if you have if you have a Saren already. I would say Equinox is actually more helpful. It's going to help you push even further than like... The Equinox will become the more valuable part of the team, but alone Equinox doesn't fare so well. It's just that the ability to get respawns on the map in ESO and have them be in awkward places and then just slam MAME and get rid of all of them so that you can get more is very, very valuable. You have to be careful when you use it with the Saren because you can kill their spores, but it's not a big deal and the payoff is worth it. It's still really, really good. Yeah, you can use Mach Rush to change direction midair. You can fall. You can go down really quickly. It's a lot of things, you know. Yeah, it's cool. Well, the reason they didn't make the scaling of his first ability like strength or anything is because this way, no matter how you build Gauss, he's fast. Remember, for normal gameplay, like you're not racing. Like normal gameplay is not racing. So to design a frame that feels fast, you want to make it so their speed is independent of their build, so they just innately always feel fast. And I think that was a great decision. He's still really fast, but you don't need to be faster than that. I know people meme and think about like, oh, well, but he's not the fastest. But like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's bad game design. Obviously, it would be fun if you could like hit the highest possible speed. Like, that would be cool, yes. But at the same time, like, that is a good design choice to make him overall feel quick. I keep saying fast. I wanted to use a different word. Quick. Yeah, there are a few weird things with Gauss though, like redline buffing dependent on duration. That's a bit odd. I don't know what's going on there. Quick. Wonderful. Jab off the top of my head, I can't think of any. That's a good question though. Okay, let me do a quick little schedule thing, and then we will play a bit and discuss a bit more, and go from there. So this month, what we're doing right now is pushing to Twitch partners. So being partnered on Twitch rather than just an affiliate is valuable and important because it means that I can more easily financially sustain all the content I do. Twitch is kind of a sustain or a viewer interaction platform more than it is like a haymaker platform like YouTube. But YouTube still doesn't make very reliable money, so it's easy to not worry about like how well a YouTube video does if I know that Twitch will be able to sustain that, you know. It's more reliable income. Getting Twitch partnered is a lot like getting a job in that you can accept bounty board requests, which is a sort of like auto-sponsored stream system that Twitch uses. It's not perfect in every way, but it is a valuable asset. And things like when Warframe Empyrean comes out, if you're a Twitch partner, you literally can just get money for nothing for playing Warframe. I mean, obviously what you're doing is a sponsored stream, but the developers know very well you would do it anyway. They're just trying to be supportive. And Twitch partners kind of just get free money when Warframe Empyrean or like other big releases come out for a game they play, and then you have the option to do sponsored streams for other stuff. So it is a pretty big deal. So for the next month or so, starting about a week ago and continuing for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be trying to push a Twitch partner. I've done this once before and we didn't quite get it, but we were literally only like one concurrent viewer off. I was right there, and I even clarified with them, you know, so just to be clear, if I had had just one more concurrent viewer, you would have given me it, and they said yes. So I'm not too worried about it. I think we are going to get it, but just to make sure and really pull out all the stops, I did want to stream here on YouTube for a variety of reasons. So the reason I normally don't stream on YouTube is that YouTube doesn't process it very well. YouTube is not very good at accommodating streams, which is really awkward, because you would think that to compete in the industry, they would want streaming to be a thing you want to do on their platform, you know? It's weird that it doesn't work well. But the reason it doesn't work well, so I wrote down a few things, because every time we bring this up, I always don't explain it well. So the definitive list of things that are bad for you when you stream on YouTube and you run a YouTube channel. So YouTube treats your live stream like a video. And obviously, like, because other videos affect the performance of your other videos, if your live stream isn't, like, as good, you know, whatever that means, as a video, if it doesn't do as well as a video, your live stream archive is not going to go viral. You know what I mean? So it's gonna hurt the performance of your other videos, which is bad. That means you get less money from them, you get less snowballing views from them, you get less search engine optimization from them, you get just less everything. And another thing that is a little weird, a little bit less intuitive, is that when users leave your channel on YouTube, when they leave YouTube, the website, from your channel, you get a demerit that's marked in your videos, and that makes them do less well in the search engine algorithm, which again makes your other videos do less well as well. That's pretty bad. Like, that's not good. Now, this does mean, I'm not saying you should do this, but that does mean that if you follow me to Twitch when I move to Twitch, if you click on someone else's channel, just click on a random video really quickly and watch like 1 second of it and then go to Twitch, my channel literally does better because you did that. I know that's ridiculous. You do not have to feel like you need to do that. I don't care, as we'll discuss later, but it does technically make it do better. So yeah, that's one of the problems. So like when you stop streaming on YouTube, it tends to be that because YouTube is not as integrated a streaming platform, it doesn't have as many people streaming, you're not going to get people going somewhere else on the site. You're going to get people leaving the site, and that gives your channel a bit of a demerit. Yeah, I was going to say, so prepare a channel you don't like Watch Mojo or some Match Mojo. Yeah, there you go, see. Shout out to that channel for being awful. Anyway, yeah, so that's a problem. Let me see. Those are the two major ones that came to mind already. Yeah, evaluate some past videos. Right, okay, so all of that stuff, but the critical but is that streaming on YouTube is good for all of you, because it means I get to interact with the YouTube side of the audience and maybe reach out to you all a bit more. And if you don't watch Twitch regularly, maybe there's a reason you don't like Twitch, or you're just not familiar with streaming in general. A lot of streaming I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, I do try to approach streaming a bit differently, focused on interaction, rather than just providing passive entertainment. That's fine, like some people want that from a stream, but there's plenty of people doing that. There's no need to have anybody else who does that. So I'm trying to provide something a bit different, and this gives you a chance to take a look and decide for yourself. So I like, as much as it's bad for like the channel, as in like the channel in the search engine, I want you to keep in mind that when I say that, I mean it's bad for like the channel numerically. It's not bad for you, the actual human viewers, and it's critical not to forget that like I'm being watched by human beings. Like, you all are individual people who enjoy or do not enjoy watching a thing. So I think for all of you, like, creating more content and kind of sacrificing some of the channel in the name of community is totally valid and a reasonable thing, regardless of the fact that it helps Twitch. So I will be streaming on YouTube from time to time, no matter what. We're just going to do it more this month so that I can start here, have viewers like have time to know that I'm live, and then we go to Twitch, and what that's doing is raising the average viewer count on the Twitch streams, because it allows people to know when I'm streaming more. And this is really no different than just putting a go live notification an hour earlier saying I'm going to go live in an hour, but I might as well just stream for that time, you know? So that's why I'm doing it. I hope that makes sense. Please ask if you are confused about any of the things I just said. It's okay if you don't care about this. I'm just going to give like a quick overview of where we're going. That was the big part, and then I just want to give you an overview of the rest of the year. And then we'll just talk about the other stuff. But I hope that makes sense. That's why I'm doing that, and I want to know what you think. I already saw a few things. It does do that? Yeah, it's really silly. A stream being like a video that's literally hours long and only gets like double-digit views. No wonder the algorithm hates it. Exactly. Milkcalf, I do think the future's bright. Callie thinks so too. Hi, Callie. Hi. What's wrong? Callie, what's the matter? Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling? Why? Why are you doing that? What do you want? I don't know what she wants. Callie, help me help you. YouTube's like much worse Windows Media Player. Ah, yes. Nicholas, to answer your question quickly, you said, how good is Gauss's primary weapon? Whenever you want to know how good a weapon is, just look at its supplemental stats. If it's got good crit, and it has okay status or a way to deal some status, like maybe a melee weapon could have stances that have forced procs, or a primary weapon could have 100 munitions. Most weapons can do it, but secondaries, it's important. As long as it has good crit and a way to deal status output, and remember also fire rate. You know, this weapon is low status, but it's got high fire rate, so it will have more chances to get that low, but, you know, reasonably likely over time status. If it has good crit and status, it's pretty much going to be a good weapon. Now, this weapon, a lot of the fine details do make a big difference. Like, this weapon is explosive, but it doesn't explode if you fire it close to you. This weapon fires really fast. This weapon is okay base damage for a weapon like this. The explosion radius is pretty big. The crit stats are like really big yikes, like really, really strong. And being a primary, it has been kind to this weapon. Reloading quicker while you're running is good too. It's really, really good. This is just basic 100 munitions viral build. It's pretty damn good. But again, all you really need to do is look at the stats. And if the supplemental stats are good, it's going to be good. If they're not good, then it gets a little bit more difficult, because plenty of those weapons are still good, but it's more complicated. But seeing big crit and good fire rate or status on a weapon, like, it's going to be a good weapon. But yeah, I mean, I'll be using it more. It's just really satisfying. It's so ridiculous too. Like, it just hits everything. It feels like you can shoot the entire map at once. You said by streaming on YouTube and then on Twitch, you kill all the EU viewers. Why? Why do you think that? That I can't think of a reason why that would be the case. Tell me why you think that. Again, by streaming on YouTube and then on Twitch, you kill all the EU viewers. Why do you think that? I am quite certain that's not the case. What makes you say that? Because just to be clear, what we're doing here is literally just streaming an additional hour before the stream, and then streaming as normal on Twitch. The Twitch stream is exactly the same. We're just streaming for an additional hour right before the Twitch stream. So it has absolutely no effect on the Twitch stream, except to make it like do better algorithmically. YouTube is a website that does the thing badly. Yeah, I was gonna say. From now on, I'm calling YouTube streams interactive Twitch stream notifications, and you can't stop me. Yes. We will do it. It will officially become no more YouTube streams. They will be called interactive Twitch stream notifications. That's right. Do I hear a Mao? We do have a Mao Mouse. Hello, Mao Mouse. Do you have something to say? Do you have feelings? Hello. Are you upset? Are you frustrated? Are you thirsty? Are you a thirsty kid? Are you anxious? What's wrong, Callie? What's the matter? I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to help. What's wrong? She wants to be on me. Callie, I'm sorry, I'm working. I'm working so you can get the cat food and the new toys. Callie, you're kind of scaring me a little bit. She's not usually this aggressive. About petting? I don't know. Callie, I'm sorry. We will have a love session afterward. Well, okay, that maybe made it sound a bit off, but... Yes, anyway. Cool. I'll have to remember that demerits thing and always leave from channels I don't like. I mean, well, because Patrick, like, that actually makes sense. Like, having it be that a channel, like, you don't like a video and that makes you leave YouTube, that video probably should be treated as being less good in general. If that happens, it just falls apart when you look at something like a stream, or it has weird interactions with, like, niche content. Like, if you have content that is mostly appealing to people that don't already watch YouTube, people probably will mostly leave from your video, but you're actually helping YouTube get that new audience. You're not taking it away. You're not losing them it, which makes it a bit weird, you know? So for the most part, like, it's not like crazy that they do that. It just doesn't make sense to apply that everywhere, you know? Like a lot of things on YouTube, the idea is not bad. It's just it's way too simple. Like, there needs to be like a more complicated version of that idea for it to be a good system. No emotes on YouTube. You actually can have emotes on YouTube. I can put custom emotes on YouTube. If we stream here a lot, I'll do it so that you can get the benefit from that. Sorry, I saw how is the damage spread between the explosion and projectile on Skeltra and Icarius? How much damage do I lose on hitting enemies before the blast radius? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, long story short though, like, they're both a lot of damage. By the way, the YouTube notification on Discord wasn't an actual ping like usual. Totally intentional. Absolutely intentional. We do the ping for when it's on Twitch, so that people who don't want to watch it on YouTube, there's no problem. We're trying to get extra people who don't know we're streaming from YouTube, not people that are already going to watch the Twitch stream. How long have you been playing Warframe? About 2.5 years. I started when I was about to graduate college, and I've played for about 4,000 total hours. But about 2.5 years, if that's the way you're asking. I did very, 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 very briefly play Warframe when it was in beta, but I mean, I'm talking for like less than an hour, and I really, really didn't like it. Very common thing. My only argument is the Scourge is amazing despite no crit. The Scourge is not amazing. The Scourge is definitely alright, but it is not amazing. It is worth using in some situations. Midge, you said, considering your opinion of WatchMojo, if they offered you a well-paying position to improve, say, their gaming videos, would you consider it? Or are your feelings toward them that strong? That's a hard question, because it's like they wouldn't do that, because that's not their business strategy. Like, their strategy is not quality. So that's a tricky question, because by saying if they offered you a well-paying position to improve their gaming videos, like, if they did that, that would mean a lot of other things would have changed about them. And then at that point, it's like, it's kind of not even the same channel. And then I would be willing to consider it, because that's actually not the same channel anymore. I would always consider a larger opportunity like that, because even if I don't like the company, if I can just take it over by influencing it, by making the best content they have, then that's an ability I get that they don't have anymore, to influence people and make the world a better place, or provide a message that I want, or just have personal power, or whatever you want from doing this. If you just want money, like, any reason you'd want to do this, I think it's always worth considering, as long as you have some pull, you feel like you can make a difference. So yeah, I mean, I would consider it. It's not high on my list of things I would want to do, but yeah, I mean, I would consider it. I would be interested in changing it. Literally kills Europeans by streaming. Local streamer decimates an entire continent just like the Black Plague. Wow. Savage. Having cat on your stream is like buying bots to watch. Just not fair, my guy. Totally fair. Absolutely fair. What is a cat and how do I get it? So are you going to start streaming on Twitch soon? Yep, probably in about a half hour. We're just going to finish talking here, and hopefully Callie will get a little bit less thirsty, because it is a bit distracting. Callie, we spend a lot of time together. Why do you act like I abandon you as soon as I'm in front of people? She sounds so angry. Callie, it's okay. It's okay. What's wrong? It's like I never play with you. We spend lots of time together. What's wrong? You could be up here. Now people can see you. Hi. Callie, what's the matter? You seem really distressed. She seems upset about something. I don't know. Anyway. Adorable. Callie, you are so cute. You're such a silly little kid. Ah, no. Okay, well, anyway, that's the only bad thing about this weapon. Is that using it on Gauss specifically is bad for your health. Watch Mojo top 10 Zandy Hicks. Okay, I mean, I would be done. I mean, I would be down. Is it possible to make a Pepsi Man color scheme for Gauss? Or do the color groupings not match enough? I just feel like it doesn't look that good broadly. But you could definitely do that. Only true viewers have all notifications on for Helm. No, I mean, some people don't want to know everything. They just want to know, like, when the content's happening. I advertise it as a place where you just, like, get content notifications, so I totally respect that. A lot of people don't want to hear most of the things that go on there. That's fine. What's wrong with the cat wanting attention? Nothing. Pet cat more, you villain. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I want to have a life too, but I guess screw me, right? Damn, man. Savage. I need more things. Give me the stuff. You need more reactant. Don't forget the reactant. You need more reactant. My mana is low. Not enough mana. There we go. Simple as that. Simple as that. Look at that. Whoop. Whoop. That range. Savage. Yeah, I liked Shizek's Ultra content, and her Akarius video I thought was pretty funny. That was clever. That was a good subversion. Zandy Catfeet. Oh my god. Zandy can't use restream.io. Just to be clear, Nishanth, it's not that you can't stream to multiple platforms at once, it's that Twitch does not contractually allow you to. If you're monetized on Twitch, so if you're a Twitch affiliate or a Twitch partner, you are not legally allowed to stream on another platform at the same time. So it's not that you can't do it, people do it. In fact, a lot of people that are monetized on Twitch do it, because they just don't know that it's against their contract. They didn't read their contract. To be blunt, it's too easy to become a Twitch affiliate, so a lot of people don't take it very seriously and don't know that their contract prohibits them from doing that. They also don't enforce it very much, so that's part of it too. But yes, you can. What about leaving a video and then coming back? So as far as we know, again, YouTube is not very transparent, but as far as we know, being the video that brings a viewer to YouTube does help you as well. So it should be that if you come for a video and then leave the site with you come and go off just that one video, it should even out. But again, we don't know. YouTube is not very transparent about that stuff. Now, the thing that's weird about the demerits is everyone has to leave eventually. Well, yeah, again, but like as long as it benefits you at some point, it's like, broadly speaking, it does say something about your videos. If people are leaving from them, it just doesn't make sense for like these specific types of content. 30 minutes of Zandy petting cat is more engaging than Warframe. I mean, you know, is there any way to use the thermal, sunder, cold, and melee finishers? No, it doesn't open enemies to finishers. It's a little bit on Twitch due to that lack of enforcement. Yeah, it absolutely is, of course. If they really cared about it that much, they would have to enforce it. Zandy, have you ever thought about doing stream highlights? That is not a good idea. So it's a good idea if your channel's focused on it, or like what a lot of people have that I'm sure you've seen, is their channel is set up where Twitch is their sort of hub channel, and they're popular for streaming. And they usually have an outside editor who's paid to cut down their streams to the stream highlight moments and then post those on YouTube. And that YouTube channel, because the streamer is so popular, kind of auto feeds itself. Like the YouTube channel pays for the editor and more, and then the streamer just gets free money from the YouTube channel. But those people are not running a channel, and their highlights are not good content. They're just the stream in a digest form. And the way that I do my streams, like, the goal is that every part of the stream is content. Like, if you were to cut part of this stream that I'm doing right now, it wouldn't make sense. Like, we're having an hour-long discussion, you know? So it's something that you could do, but first of all, like, my audience is not really here for that. Like, some of you are here because you just want to see anything that's me, but I actually already have a channel that's for that. My second YouTube channel is already just like, if you want more me, that maybe isn't the same thing that most people are subscribed for, like, I do have that. And Discord has a lot of that. Patreon and Coffee content has a lot of that as well. I make a lot of content that's like that, but it doesn't belong on this YouTube channel because most people are here for, like, heavy interaction and, again, like, getting questions answered and figuring out things about the game. Now, of course, there are some pieces of stream content that could do well. Like, we do need to upload more races. Like, I have been meaning to get do a racing stream that is specifically structured to be a stream archive so that resource is renewed. Like, I think every couple of months there should be a fresh stream archive. I do think that's a valuable thing. So we will be doing that soon. Yes, I do think that's valuable. And there are, like, on occasion, there are stream highlight moments that I think are valuable. Specifically, I think that, like, when you have a moment in the stream that is structured like a video, which for most people doesn't happen very often, but for me, it's more frequent, and I'll talk about that later because I have an idea for that. I think there's a form of stream highlights that can work, but overall it's kind of not very dense content, and part of my goal with my channel is to be very respectful of the viewer's time when I make a video. So for what it's worth, I think that's not the greatest fit for I think it's a terrible fit for me, but it works for a lot of people, but they are structured differently. Delicious. Look at that. Oh, the kids are feeding. It's feeding time for the kids. What nice kids. They finally get food. They have been starving for like 3 hours. They have been starving for 3 whole hours. No. They lived without food for like 3 whole hours. Oh, they will starve. No. You could do a highlight the way Xenojellion does with his podcast, but again, Xeno's channel is structured very, very differently. I'm sure some of you all would like it, but most of my core audience wouldn't because my normal videos I have no reaction. Wow. Are simply not structured that way at all. I don't advertise that in any way, and I don't want to. Like, I'm not interested in providing that kind of content on YouTube. I'm interested in providing it on streams. Of course, if enough of you said you wanted it, I would absolutely be down to provide it somewhere, but I definitely don't think it belongs on this channel because my normal videos are simply the polar opposite of a stream archive. Okay, not the polar opposite, but the way they treat time is very, very different, which is important. You know, that's valuable. Oh my goodness. Okay. Zandy doesn't get that it's relevant. Well, yeah, because I'm distracted. Yeah, the average Zandy viewer, exactly. What if you posted a highlight that's just a whole unedited stream? Well, yeah, but again, then it would be really long content just like this that would be making the channel do less well. And part of YouTube's role in my content flow is to be a reach platform. So videos on YouTube doing statistically well is more important because that's helping feed all the other platforms. That feeds Patreon and Coffee and Twitch, very, very importantly Twitch, because Twitch has terrible discovery. It's really, really hard to get found on Twitch. So it's almost impossible to grow quickly unless you have a discovery platform elsewhere, or you get very, very lucky. There have been people who have gotten very, very lucky, but those people are the exception, not the rule. Yes. We aren't going to do races on like specific scheduled days But we are going to be racing more often. I'm going to try to make it around every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. More often than once a month. I am moving toward that. Delicious. Whew. No, Milkcalf, I know you were joking, but a lot of people didn't. That's all. I know you're joking. I know you're joking. Sorry, just catching back up. How about a 24-hour phone stream? That's disturbing. Aratak, you said you may kill European viewers on Twitch because it will be 10 p.m. Middle Europe and Sunday when you go live. Well, again, just to be crystal clear, the streams on Twitch are not changing in any way. They're at the exact same time for the exact same length. I'm just streaming an hour earlier on YouTube first. It's not different on Twitch. Patrick, thanks for the $5 tip. I'll be more clear. The Scourge is awesome for comboing with my Condition Overload. Okay, well, that's very different, though. Yeah, one thing I really like about the gun staffs, and I do think the Scourge actually benefits maybe the most from this. The other weapons, it was like there was already a compelling reason to build around that. Or like the Ferox, it doesn't really matter. Its reload is fast. The Javlock with the synth set was already a good thing that I certainly enjoyed a lot. But the Scourge, it was like I didn't really want to build around the synth set for it necessarily, and it definitely doesn't need ammo, but it was a weapon where like that would be a nice bonus because the reload is slow, and they even made the magazine twice as big a little while back. So yeah, it did benefit from that a lot, and then you can swap to your secondary really quickly. The Scourge is a good weapon for comboing with stuff. I just feel like a lot of the time, a Condition Overload weapon, like you really should just keep attacking with the weapon and the enemy will die faster, rather than like priming it with another weapon and getting Condition Overload ready. It's often better to just attack with the weapon for that whole time. But there are exceptions, and like for example, the Scourge is really good at hitting a lot of enemies at once, so that's good. Here comes the money, baby! No, I really appreciate it, Patrick. Thank you very much. That is $5 in my pocket. YouTube's tip system is pretty good. They have like a join system, which is not the best because I only get 40% of 60% of the money. It's a little better than Twitch subs, but you get less benefits. So that system is not so great, but the tip system on YouTube is pretty good. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Zany, please talk about the synergy submissions. I'm not going to talk about those because we're going to be doing them as many videos. I'm already going to have an overwhelming amount of content about those. Believe me, you will not want more content about them once we're done. I'm going to wait until they're all submitted. I don't want to talk about them here because that's going to influence further submissions. In fact, I said a few tiny things about what submissions I thought were doing well already, and that has already influenced the submissions I've gotten, which I don't want. So I'm not going to say anything at all about them anymore, except that they're mostly really good and I'm really enjoying them until the next weekend when we finish up. But then we will be talking about them a lot. I'm not going to cut very many. Most of them are making the cut, so a lot of them will be in the semifinals. Yeah, that's true. Scourge is nice because it can do corrosive and gas effectively, which is not very common. That's a good point. Yeah. What's your favorite Warframing where it's a fun only? I've been playing this game for a really long time, so I don't really have any simple opinions about it anymore. I've just spent too much time thinking about it to have like one single thing I like or one single favorite. So you'll forgive me if I really can't answer any question about a specific favorite. That's just like not a thing I have anymore. But there are lots of, yeah, in regards to fun only. Yeah, I mean, Mirage is always satisfying to see, the clones duplicating explosives. Nezha is useful, but I also just find the sliding really fun. Gauss, again, very useful, but the sliding is fun. I actually do... Ember is not in a very good place right now. She's not in as bad a place as a lot of people want to say she is, but she is definitely not in a good place. And I do find Ember's, like, the idea of Ember's gameplay where you're just throwing a ton of fire around, that is kind of fun to me, even though it's really bad. And, like, I admit that that's a case where the frame being as bad as she is kind of harms my enjoyment of it because I can't stop thinking about how ineffective it is. You have to be playing against very low-level enemies for that to be effective, but it is kind of fun in concept. I just wish it was better. Equinox swapping forms feels good, even though there aren't like that many compelling reasons to do so. I have no reactant again, lol. Let's see, who else? I really like Oberon. He's just got a nice gameplay flow. He feels kind of like a World of Warcraft character. He always evokes World of Warcraft gameplay to me for some reason. I also, when I played World of Warcraft, I almost exclusively played hybrid classes like Druid and Shaman and, you know, Paladin, Death Knight. I like Death Knight a lot. The classes that could do multiple things, and Oberon as his jack of all trades style kind of reminds me of that. So it's not so much that his gameplay is so fun to me, but I find that fun. So I don't know, those are some that I like. I like Revenant. Dance Macabre is satisfying. I like blowing myself up with Mesmer Skin on because it negates the self-damage. Well, it lets you take it, but it doesn't kill you, which is cool. I like how Revenant's passive explodes when he gets hit and then you do a knockdown. It's just like looks satisfying to watch everything horribly explode and then you're completely fine. It's a bit funny, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know, those are some favorites. What's your favorite question about favorites? Literally, that is my favorite question about favorites. Yeah. There we go. Nice and safe. Safe and sound. Zandy, troll your audience by saying a fake synergy that doesn't exist is really cool. I've done that before. Joey did that before too. Joey and I have both run test videos like that people didn't notice. Mine, a few people noticed, but Joey ran an experiment like that I won't specify, but it should be easy to find if you really scrutinize his last like 30 or 40 videos or so. That's a lot, but he did a test like that where he like talked about something as though it was like this good legitimate thing, and it actually just completely did not work at all, and he knew, and it was meant to be like it was a social experiment. I did it too once. I'm proud to say you all noticed. Not all of you noticed, but plenty of people noticed. But for Joey's community, they mostly didn't notice. It was not the channeling thing. No, channeling, very few things that are channeling are decent. First prime ever built. I don't know, but I think it was Saren. I think it might have been Saren. I really don't know, but I think it might have been Saren. For yours, was it the Nova build? Nope. Was it the channeling video for Joey? Nope. I won't tell you what it is, but it's not those. Aratak, thank you for the €5, correct? Get some catnip. More modcasts coming? Yeah, to answer your question, let me move on with describing what else is happening. So next month, hopefully we're getting Empyrean next month. They did say they're going to be releasing a thing where you can build your Railjack early so that we're ready to go when Empyrean comes out. So at least that will come out sooner. You know, like we don't know when exactly. They don't do release dates, but if I had to guess, I am fairly certain that that's going to come out like in the latter half of October. If I had to make a wild guess, I would say 5 weeks, maybe 6 will be that. And then Empyrean will come out a few weeks later. So that's coming. That'll be exciting. Let me look at my notes of what we're working on. Yeah, there's a lot of tech updates that I'm doing in what's that, October? What are months? I love Halloween. Halloween is the best month. The best celebration type thing in our culture is Halloween, and I always like to celebrate Halloween a lot by doing some branding updates and technology updates. So we're going to be doing my Discord bot, Long John Silver, and the Pairs of Pants currency, and the currency on Twitch, my doubloons. They're both going to get new rewards and new little systems for getting them and spending them, so those will be updated. Some new details behind me that I won't specify. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Those will be coming in October. Quite a few very spicy ones. Again, I don't want to spoil the surprise. I've been working on it for a while, so I think you're going to enjoy it. It's pretty spicy. Your first idea is not often your best idea, so I am very confident that now I have a good idea. Our usual Halloween festivities, and then hopefully Empyrean will come out, and there'll be a big drops campaign. To answer your question, Aratak, more modcasts coming. So one of the new rewards that's going to be available on Twitch is that you can buy a modcast using stream currency, not using money. It's not pay to win, using stream currency. So if you earn stream currency, which you get just by watching streams, you can buy a modcast. You can just type a thing into chat and I'll just do a modcast on the spot. That's essentially how I did them before, but I think it will actually be made better by being on the spot. I've noticed, I don't know why this happens, but I've noticed that when I speak off the cuff on a stream, I do better than when I record privately. I don't know why. Like I have an easier time giving it structure and keeping things cohesive and like moving along. I have no idea why, but I just do better that way. So I legitimately think the modcasts being live will make them actually better than they would be if they were prepared. I did them like podcasts before where I had show notes, which of course will, I'll spend like a minute writing up show notes. And then we'll just do it. And then it'll also have the benefit of having some audience interaction. If I miss saying anything, we'll immediately get audience comments right afterward of like what people had to say for the few, 5 minutes or whatever while I was doing the modcast. And then I can read those and add them in. That will then be exported as like kind of a stream highlight and put on YouTube, but that will be much more structured. And I'll be editing off the silence so it's structured like a video. I'll be putting a few effects in, like maybe making the mod bigger if it's not big enough on stream. Or I'll probably try to design an effect for that so that happens live. But yes, their modcast will be coming back. The reason that the modcast was gone for a little while is that I originally designed that series to be a way to keep consistent content coming out, but I changed my strategy in the middle of the year and have decided that I'm not as interested in having YouTube be this platform where like a video comes out every other day. It just doesn't make sense. I stream. I already make content every other day. It's streaming content, And I already even make YouTube videos very frequently on my second channel. So if you just want Zandy content in general that is like not as dense and maybe a little more directionless, but is like the things I think you want to hear what I have to say, I already do that a lot anyway. So it doesn't really make sense to have YouTube fill the exact same role as those two things. And I just enjoy making things that are more like refined, but again, I don't mean editing. I just mean more thorough, more specific, really meaty with a lot of content in them, a lot of information in them. And those are my videos that have done the best anyway. Like my videos that are the most information dense are always the videos that do the best. So I would rather just make more of those. We're talking like tier lists and framework. When we finally get framework back, I realized that that's not going to fit that format. Like I want to just make a framework every week for a whole year. That's what I would like to do. Next year, framework every week for the whole year. Like that would be sick. That's what I want to do. That's the content I want to make. So structuring the channel around frequent content drops just doesn't make extremely frequent content drops just doesn't make sense. And I realized that I made the modcast because I was self-conscious about that. At the same time, I want to make that series. It just doesn't fit that vision for the channel. So I'm going to allow it to be something that happens on streams. And then those will become videos on the channel that will provide some sustained content there. If they don't do well, I will still put them up. I'll just put them on the second channel. And then that will help that channel grow too. In fact, maybe I'll just put them on the second channel. Anyway, we can talk about that. You should tell me what you think. But yes, they are coming back. They're going to be a live redeemed stream reward. So I'll be live streaming on Twitch. You redeem the reward and I'll just do it on the spot. We'll do the whole video and we'll put it up, and I'll upload it later, of course, but you get the idea. So I hope that makes sense. Yes, that's what we're going to do. What's a modcast? The modcast is a little series I did on like just discussing single mods, or I'm gonna do the set mods as like a set. A set modcast will probably cost more stream currency because that will be a bigger project, and there's not as many of them. So yes. Now that we know Zandypants, the local streamer, has made fake content, how can we continue enjoying ourselves? Halloween is best month. Agreed. It is. It is the best month. There's no October. It's just Halloween. The majority of my friends' close birthdays are in October. That's nice. That's a good time to have a birthday. That sounds fun. Pro Warframe, welcome back. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. How are you? Busy, but in a good way. Like there's lots of good stuff going on. I'm really enjoying the framework submissions people have done, and I'm also really looking forward to just like making videos about them and having a lot of new ideas on my plate. I'm also really looking forward to Empyrean. It's because you're honest and not questioning your first feelings. It's not that though, because I know that's true for most people, where when they speak in public, it's like they have to say the thing that comes to mind, but like that's not what's going on. I'm very, very raw with myself. I can be a little bit brutal with myself. My problem is definitely not holding back when I speak privately. It's that I think I'm trying to structure my words too much. Like I'm thinking too much about this being the exact way it sounds, and thinking a little bit about like I need to use a good voice, not like a YouTube voice. That's something I have done in the past, and a lot of people do that I don't think people should do. I think it sounds bad, but using like a specific voice, you know. So it's not about what I'm saying. It's not about being honest and questioning how you feel. It's just like speaking too deliberately can like get in your way. I think that's what it is. Empyrean drops out and Zandy decides to go play the content on stream. The guys who are holding their points. I'm gonna end this. Well, no, that's fine. I mean, Fire, I already do that anyway. Like, if people ask questions, I take a little detour and discuss it. So I do think it fits in pretty well. Like, I think that will fit the stream well. It's not too much of an interruption. I already do answer people's questions off the cuff. They're just not in such a formal, structured manner and at such length. So, like, it's already similar to what I do. If it was going to interrupt the stream, I wouldn't do that. That'd be a bad system. And, like, if anybody else did that, like, no offense at all, it's just not other people's streaming style. If anybody else did that, it wouldn't work because it's not how their stream is already structured. Can we have a way of sharing our points so that we can collectively unionize and force you to make 24 modcasts a day? You could try. I'm not going to make it so it costs cheap enough that you can do that, but you can. I mean, I guess if everybody worked together, you could probably do that. Will your railjack be called the Beholder? I think it's going to be called the Clothesline. That's what we call the schooner that is our flagship, our pitiful but glorious little flagship. So I might call it the Clothesline, maybe the Beholder. That's a good name too. That would be spicy. Pro Warframe, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's doing okay. I hope your personal life is going all right. That sounds tough. I've been a lot of people having a somewhat tough time around now. There's a lot of turnover around August, and a lot of people go on vacation, and it seems like a lot of people also kind of hit it bad in October. I mean, in August, excuse me. We were just talking about October. So I hope you're doing okay. That sounds a little rough. I'm glad to hear you'll still be putting the podcast on YouTube. I like getting info from your videos rather than streams because I can go back to the video for reference. Yeah, one thing I'm also going to start doing, though, Bean Man, is I'm going to be putting a bit of a timestamp guide. I don't have a system for this yet, so you'll have to forgive me for not doing it immediately. But I'm working on a system to provide a vague timestamp guide because my Twitch streams, already frequently have like somewhat of a structure where like we do this thing for a while, someone answers a question and I give an answer that I thought was pretty reasonable. So I'm gonna be providing like a little thing in the description of a stream, and like if there's an archive of it, that has timestamps to like you could jump here and this is what we're doing. So if you're only interested in this part, you can jump there. That's not gonna fix it for everyone. Streams are indeed just like less efficient, like more live entertainment content. That's just the nature of them. But at the same time, I think that like there is value in there that some people would enjoy, and I think that a good way to deliver that is to just vaguely timestamp the stream. That's actually something I was gonna offer as a reward, so you could get bonus stream currency by providing useful timestamps for parts of the stream. If you structure it in a way that is helpful, then I was thinking that could be a way that you could earn some bonus currency, and you're also helping out the community, you know? Don't forget the rockets. Not the reactant. Wamp. Wamp. Yeah, so yes, yeah, and people already do clips. Like, you all are pretty avid about doing clips, and I like it. Like, it's really fun to watch my own clips. That's something I enjoy. Watching my whole stream is something I don't do too often because it's really long. But the clips are nice, and that is something I would enjoy. So yes, we will do that as well. We will make clips part of that system. Absolutely. So yeah, I will be trying to make that a little better, but I do still understand that, Bean Man. Like, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. Again, it is just less efficient content. That's why I wouldn't want to upload just a YouTube stream archive without any structure, because I don't think that's very helpful. I broke the last, didn't I? Damn it. Yeah, you know, I hope that'll help. Welcome aboard, folks. Radio Floyd and Frosty Ice Yokai. What glorious names as well. How you both doing today? What's up? We are going to Twitch very soon, but we are still here for now. And we're streaming for another good 3 hours or so, like 2.5, 3 hours. We're still going to be streaming for a while. But I'm streaming on YouTube a little bit in the beginning so that we can help boost Twitch and I can get partnered on Twitch, and that will really help support YouTube in the future from the back end. Because financially, Twitch will provide the stability that YouTube lacks. So I think that will help a lot. By the way, Man Beetle, thank you for the follow on Twitch. We will be with you in just a few minutes. Stalker. Yeah, it's totally Stalker. Let's blow up Stalker. Hey. Baby! Oh, nope. Oh, we're getting slash procs, though. Okay. Well, alright. It's always so depressing. Sorry, Stalker. Zenny, how do you feel about MOAs and what do you think needs to be done to make them more viable? I touched on that a lot in my companion video, and the problem with MOAs is mostly that they don't have a lot of dense mod. Their pool of mods is not very dense. The mods that they have access to just doesn't have a lot of good stuff in it. They don't have their own set mods, which would pretty much instantly fix the problem. They don't have tight builds, but the build being tight isn't good necessarily. You want like a lot of good mods to be in the build. You want high quality mods, and then the build being tight is a consequence of, but that's not the good thing. Or at least that's the way I think of it. I guess I see what you mean. Like the builds being tight is, yeah. At the moment, I do want to mention about MOAs. What was that noise? I do want to mention that at the moment, the synth mods can be equipped on every companion, but it seems relatively clear that that's a bug, or just like has accidentally slipped in and was not noticed. Because if you read through the mod, you can see that unlike how it used to be enemies injured by the Sentinel have a blankety blankety blank. Now it says enemies injured by the companions, plural, have a 25% chance to drop a health orb when killed, and it's a set companion at the bottom. I think that those fields are auto-filled. Like I don't think that text is generated algorithmically. I think those are probably auto-filled fields, and the set companion part probably just indicates like directly from the code what are you allowed to equip this mod on. So I think that this is probably a bug. It doesn't really make sense to allow the thing that was making Sentinels as a group unique to suddenly be available for everything, especially when there isn't any space in like Kubro and Kavat builds to use these anyway. Like they're still good. There are still cases where I would use them, but in a lot of cases I think the draw of a Kubro and a Kavat is still better than the synth set. It's as good as the synth set is. So it doesn't make much sense. Now, them being equipable on MOAs is great. Like that's very good. You should definitely use them if you don't need to pay any forma to do so, but it's not very likely that they did that on purpose. It probably just slipped in. I don't know, maybe they did do it on purpose, but I searched back through the patch notes and I couldn't find that. And again, there is a typo. There are very few mods with typos. Like that's pretty uncommon. So it would be unusual for there to be a mod that just suddenly got given to everything, and then the parallel structure, the game design, is suddenly lost. Like, I don't think that these are supposed to be here. Again, like, for now, you should definitely use them. That's what MOAs need. But it would be great if MOAs got their own set. I hope they do. MOAs do still have good things, like as I mentioned in that video. There are still unique, powerful things that MOAs can do. Callie, can you get off there, please? She's sitting on my computer and she's gonna like catch on fire. Callie, don't catch on fire. Come on. I like you. That would be a shame. It's too hot on there. It's not safe. Like security override is pretty good. Tractor beam is pretty good. A lot of the precepts are good. Like stasis field. This requires a particular way of play, but it's still valuable. Link shields with Hildren allows you to run a really tanky companion that also has Guardian. That's good. There are other options, but that's one of them. That's good. Anti-grav grenade is good. All the MOA precepts are pretty good. I don't think that where's the stomp? There's that shockwave actuators. Yeah, like it's not that this is bad. It's just I do think it's worse than all the other ones. But the MOA precepts are good, and there are a lot of like weird little robotic mods that, while not amazing, they're still helpful. And having some room to just like throw them on is fine. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. Medipet kit is useful. So I do think it's worthwhile. I don't think MOAs are like not worth having, but they are weaker than most of the other companions by a bit. Yeah, they might have meant to release them as Robotic Sentinel. Yeah, exactly. Um, so there might be no category saying MOAs and Sentinels, but like robotics includes Sentinels. That's what that category is. But it's possible they just didn't have it or something. Uh, but yeah, exactly, Fire. Like it's easy to imagine that they were trying to allow them on MOAs or something, or maybe they were just thinking about that and it just snuck in. Um, and we didn't even notice immediately. So I'm sure it's reasonable that maybe they didn't. I'm probably gonna make a quick video about this because I would like to make sure. I'm afraid that people are gonna be like, "That's great. Now Kubras and Kavats are like more viable," because people just don't know anything about companion balance, and they'll be like, "Oh, people like it, so we'll just leave it in." Digital Extremes is a good developer, but like your audience doesn't know anything about game design. Like, don't do things because people say they like it. Like, the audience doesn't know what is best for the game. Obviously, if it's good and people like it and you have a good reason to do it, that's great. You should do things that your audience wants if they're sound. But I'm afraid, I'm sorry, DE. I feel like this is not. I feel like I'm not having enough faith in a developer that I do generally have a lot of faith in. But I am worried that they would just slip that in, and I think that that would be really messy game design. I hope they don't do that. Other companions really do not need these. So I think Sentinels want these as something to hold their own and be yeah, be unique. Anyway, so just a thought briefly. Let's. I don't want to. Okay. Excellent. Oh, this is the weird colored taxon, isn't it? This is like this weird, weirdly colored taxon that I was working on that I gave up on in the middle. What do you think about self-damage? I think self-damage is fine. I think it's kind of funny. If this game were really hard, maybe it would be annoying, but like, I feel like it's not a big deal, personally. I do like the solution of having the weapon's explosives arm at a long distance. Um, that is an interesting solution. Hello, Callie. I see you there. Mm-hmm. Hi. Yeah. So having said that, just things for the rest of the year. So again, October is just celebrating Halloween, enjoying Halloween, because it's an awesome month, a glorious holiday. Kind of doing a branding refresh, adding lots of new features, ability to commission modcasts as videos on the main channel, very likely on the main channel. It sounds like you all want that. So we'll do it. And other live stream rewards, other just general rewards. The fully fleshed out system with Long John Silver on my Discord, allowing you to earn currency on Discord and then exchange it for stream currency, will also make it easier to get the real Zandy Pants, because currently only one person has ever gotten those. We actually just sent Salmon's pair out 2 days ago, I believe. Yesterday? Was that yesterday? I think it was 2 days ago. Anyway, we just sent them out. So I'm looking forward to Salmon receiving them and hearing how she responds. But yes, so that stuff is exciting, but it will be more exciting once you hear it. I'm intentionally being a little vague, so it's a bit of a surprise. And then we'll celebrate October, and then November will probably be a lot of sustain. There'll be a lot of stuff I'm preparing in the background. Again, the rest of this is a bit more vague because we're a bit further out. Hopefully we'll be partnered, and we'll have Empyrean, and we'll just be chugging along, making a ton of Empyrean content, and really enjoying it. But I'm also going to be preparing framework stuff. I'm going to be preparing a couple of other things you can't know about, which I'll actually talk a bit more about in a sec, but not too much, because it is a secret. And also preparing for Framework to return, hopefully, next year, or the end of this year. But also, I'm kind of interested in sneaking that Riven project that I keep briefly mentioning, but then not having time for. I would also kind of like to sneak in some new player videos. I'll talk about that a little more later, probably when we move to Twitch. But I have a new idea of how I think new player content could be effectively approached. I feel like we're kind of going too far. A lot of new player content is like... Anyway, I'll talk about that more later. But yes, so that's something I'm looking to sneak in a few things there, but mostly just preparing and sustaining. And then in December, so at the end of this year, I'm releasing a whole bunch of stuff. So there's going to be a new channel. I'm not going to tell you about the new channel. It's releasing on the new year, and you'll have to wait. It's a surprise. But it's not related to this. It's like very out of left field. Like it's not, you won't expect it at all. It's very, very different. Very different. Driftframe is going to get a tier list refresh. So at the end of the year, I'm going to make a new version of the Drift Frame tier list. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have that be the regular time for Drift Frame getting a tier list refresh. Like when it's the end of the year, that will be the time that I refresh the tier list. I think that's a good time to do it. DE goes on vacation in January, so I do think that's a good time to do that, and I'm hoping that you all will enjoy having January be a dedicated Drift Frame month, where we do like mostly Drift Frame and race like at least every week, if not more often, like way more often for January, and have that be like a season. I'm really looking forward to that. But again, I am also revealing something else for this. It's not just stuff for this new mysterious other thing I'm talking about. There will be other Drift Frame content too, something that's a surprise that I'm not going to tell you about. But at the end of the year, we'll be getting a Drift Frame refresh. And then at the beginning of the year, I'm hoping the very next day, I'm going to show you something new. So hopefully you'll like it. And there's also going to be, again, something very new, something very different that doesn't have to do with Drift Frame or Warframe at all. And I won't talk about that too much more, but I've been working on it for months, so it is very secret. You don't get to know anything more about it, but it'll sneak up on you. Let's just say it does have to do with some things we've done in my community together, just not Warframe. A lot of things, but I just like can't. It's so hard to hold myself back, but I will not. Are you concerned that 3 separate channels might make for too much fragmentation in terms of viewership and content? No, because this other channel is utterly different. Like it's not topically, it is not related in any way. It's completely separate. It is purely a separate project. It is ideologically related, and I think that if you really like me and the content I do and the way I approach things, I think you'll probably still really enjoy that. I wouldn't do it if I thought that like nobody would like it. But it is an attempt to succeed in a different way that is going to be alongside this channel and my other channel. My other channel is also going to be more of like a crowdfunding, like Patreon and Coffee hub, the way it is now, and also like a way to provide news and like other videos I don't think will do so well. Whereas this channel is the Warframe channel, the gaming channel. I might put some Magic content on here, Magic the Gathering content on here. I am interested in doing that. Whereas the other channel will be very different and totally separate. And I'm hoping, even though I will be showing you those videos, I will be advertising those videos, I'm hoping it will mostly succeed on its own. And I actually suspect that it will be much more popular than this channel, which is fine. I mean, I'm going to be playing video games anyway, so I'm going to want to share it with you all. Makes no never mind which one succeeds, but I'm hoping that will support this one. It is a much more high concept channel that it is also really weird, like taking in a very odd approach, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore because you can hear I'm straying a little bit further into discussing it, so I don't do that. Zandy, did they tell you about Conclave Drift Frame? No. I wish I knew, but I don't. It's not about, no, I don't know anything about Conclave Drift Frame. I really wish I did. I did ask, when I went to, we got to visit their studio, and I went to people and asked, like, other people that working at Digital Extremes that were working that day, the day after TennoCon, I went there and asked, like, can you say anything about Drift Frame coming into the game? And they all smiled and said no. They all smiled and they all said no. So I don't know. I really wish I could know that and or tell you, but I cannot. Patrick, thank you for the $5 again. I really appreciate it. What was your major in college? My guess is STEM of some sort. English. I was an English major. Specified in creative writing. I wrote a novel for my final project. And actually the reason I started playing Warframe is that I wrote this novel really, really fast. Like, it was like hundreds of pages, but I wrote it, like, I would stay up all night and just type. And I'm a very, very fast typist. So I got it done a full month before I graduated. And all that time, I was dating a few different people and I had a ton of friends and I lived with a bunch of people I really enjoyed, but they were all busy. Everyone was busy because they were trying to finish their project to graduate. And I was done. I was so isolated, like it felt terrible because every day I woke up to a bunch of my friends in the house and people I was with, and I couldn't spend any time with any of them. So I played the hell out of Warframe. I played like hundreds of hours just in like the last month I was in college. I know life did so hard. then I got burnt out and stopped playing. A true story. And then at the end of the year, I started making content about it, and that became my relationship with it, and I enjoy it a lot more now. Cool. Let me answer a few more questions here, but that's basically what's coming. I hope that is as exciting to you as it is to me, and we will be a happy family together in the future. We are going to move over to YouTube pretty soon, but I mean to Twitch, excuse me, what the hell? But let me finish answering questions here. And Patrick, I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's very supportive of you. Now that we have Sentinel weapon Rivens back in the farming pool, would there be any chance we could get further insight on Sentinel weapons with Riven mods? Yes. I actually have a couple of projects listed. I mentioned that Riven project I want to do. My goal is to sort of go over my view of what are the worthwhile chase Rivens in the game right now. So in other words, like, not just damage, that doesn't matter. Damage Rivens just categorically do not matter. I was more tolerant of that in my video because I don't want people to be like, this guy doesn't give a crap about my feelings about big damage numbers. Like, it's okay if you enjoy that, but from purely a buildcraft perspective, they're not significant. So when I say like chase Rivens, what I mean is like Rivens that make a noticeable gameplay difference in a weapon. So a simple one that seems like just damage would be the comb. This is the one everybody knows. Don't take this build too seriously either. Actually, something we'll work on today is there are a few modifications you can make here. There are some improvements. But the comb Rivens that give you that 100% status before multi-shot, and then like fire rate is really good. I have damage to Grenier, which is actually really strong here. That's a really good simple one that is kind of just damage, but it's really modifying the behavior of the weapon. But there are a lot more weird ones. So like one I brought up in the contest video was the Akbronco negative impact. So you can remove all the IPS, so you just get pure, not pure literally, but like a very overwhelming majority of the element. So you can make it proc a ton of corrosive. That's really good, and then you can get 3 ammo maximum is pretty bad, but reload speed is great on this weapon, and then even status chance to make it achieve that 100% quicker. Also very, very good. A great Riven on an already pretty good weapon. Yeah, so minus impact damage or like puncture damage can be good on a few weapons. What are some other really good ones? Flight speed is an okay example. Like mods that give you more options for damage modding. So like the Javelock did get Amalgam Javelock magazine warp, but having a Javelock Riven that gives you magazine capacity, or even like gas weapons with Toxin, like that actually does make a pretty big difference. Let's see. Sobek, you don't really need it. You can make something very, very good with the Sobek without, and really the only reason to use the Sobek in the first place is acid shells. So I do have a Sobek Riven that is borrowed from a patron of mine as an example. That is, you know, you'd want negative impact and then multi-shot and whatever. But it you know, it's not really necessary. You can do a very good job without that. But then there are more high concept ones like, yep, Thesaurus, the Azuma one. Negative fire rate on the Azuma allows you to fire out discs that will kind of just permanently, not permanently, but they last like a minute. Just sit there as a turret doing status, sometimes crowd control, and also nominal damage. But mostly, like for Saren, you can spread spores. And this is totally different than every other weapon in the game. There are other weapons that can be in an area and spread spores for a while remotely. And there are other weapons that can provide multiple areas that spread spores. But none of those weapons can do both at the same time. None of the ones that can be in multiple areas don't last very long. And the ones that last a long time can't be in multiple places. So this is the only weapon that is even close to being able to do this. And you need this specific Riven. So that, like, this is like an entirely different weapon. It's a fine pistol anyway, but if you have this Riven, it really becomes like a new weapon has been added to the game that has like different utility. A lot of them are not that drastic. Like the comb is still very good anyway. It's just like a whole new level of ridiculous if you have the status thing. Whereas this is like, this weapon doesn't exist if you don't have this Riven. Like you do not have the option of equipping like this weapon without this, so again, the Riven project is going to be about like analyzing where Rivens are right now, talking about why I think Rivens are pretty bad, they're just not very well designed, but why we can't really turn back now, we can't just change them, but also suggesting a way maybe we could change them, a system that is similar enough to what we have that we could just leave it in, but would be better, you know. So suggesting things like that, and then again showing like the various Rivens we already have that are really good examples of that. So we'll see. That's a series I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just really haven't found the right time. So why is Acid Shells so good? Because it does a % of enemy health as damage. Doing a % of enemy health as damage is just very, very powerful. Excuse me. Specifically, Acid Shells is very, very scary on Garuda. If you use Garuda's 4th ability and then use Acid Shells to kill an enemy, Acid Shells will proc Garuda's 4th ability, and the % enemy health will turn into a slash proc and is essentially mathematically guaranteed to kill every enemy it hits. It's very, very, very powerful. The problem with this weapon is that it's not very good at killing enemies in the first place, but luckily Garuda's 4th ability helps with that. It can work with Saren too. You don't get the ignoring armor effect, but if you use Toxic Lash, that will happen too. Acid Shells will proc Toxic Lash, and you'll get a lot of damage, but if the enemies still have armor, it's not going to be very significant. But a lot of the time they don't, so that's fine. Yeah, Thesaurus, I know, like, you'd want to rethink it from the ground up because people have spent millions of platinum on Riven, so you can't really change it very much now, but I do think there's a small way we can change it even now that doesn't invalidate anything, won't make anyone that upset, but is still good, like, would still help. So, that. But yes, the Sobek is very good with Acid Shells, but again, it's not good as an actual shotgun. There isn't really a reason to use this weapon to kill one enemy. It's a weapon that you use for cluster synergy, and the drawback of the weapon is that you have to use the Sobek when you use Acid Shells. It's not very good. Even if you have like the perfect Riven for this weapon, removing all the impact so you can get pure whatever status you want, increasing the terrible reload speed, giving it more multi-shot, even if you have all of these things, there's still not really any reason to use this weapon for killing stuff. You should just use a good shotgun, of which there are many. But Acid Shells is so good that it is worth using in some situations. It even has a Syndicate power too. That's a small bonus, which is nice. That stuns enemies and gives you more time to set up. So cool. Yeah, and there are a few frames that are good for it. Yeah, Nyx, I could see that. Any way to kind of remove anything. Armor, I mean. So yeah, anyway, go figure. That sounds cool, Gurioni. The negative recoil plus projectile flight speed multi-shot Comarex Riven. That sounds cool. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense, Aaron. But yeah, it is. It's very, very, very good with Garuda. Yeah, and again, like there are just so many shotguns that totally outclass the Sobek. Okay, we need to move to Twitch. So for those watching that are not going to go with us to Twitch, I understand. That's okay. I actually don't understand, and I would love it if you explained it to me, but I don't begrudge you. It's fine. What armor set is this? This is the Lodestar armor set, which is a login reward for 1,000 logins. I'm sorry, Arian. I did not perfectly pronounce your name. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I thank you for watching here, and I like being able to talk to the YouTube community more directly. DeForlinks and OS Hades 05, thank you for the follows. Welcome aboard. I'll see you there in just a minute. Yes, we're gonna swap over. It only takes about 30 seconds to swap over, but if you don't want to come, that's okay. If you enjoyed it, then I'll see you in future videos and future YouTube streams that will be before the Twitch streams for the next month or so. Again, we're doing this to help the Twitch stream have a higher average viewer count so that we get partnered more effectively. And it promotes Twitch too, so it doesn't, no big deal to them. We can't stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time because first of all, that wouldn't accomplish the goal of raising the viewer count, but it's against the terms of service on Twitch. If you're monetized, you can't stream somewhere else at the same time. Lots of people do it, so note that you may know people that do this already. It is technically against their contract, but Twitch doesn't really enforce it, so a lot of people don't do it. I'm not going to do that, so you'll have to forgive me. But yes, so if you enjoyed yourself, I really appreciate the support. I already see a lot of follows popping up in chat on Twitch, so we will go cover those very soon. But thank you for watching, and if you're watching this as an archive, I hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed the stream and you want to support it and the videos that I do and all the other stuff in our community, we've got a bunch of links in the description. We have Ko-fi and Patreon, which are platforms where you can give me money to do this thing I'm doing, which you don't have to do, but if you feel able, that is how I'm supported. So I definitely appreciate it. So anyway, let's go. Here's Twitch, although it is in the description, of course. And I will see you all there. Again, it will take about 30 seconds of the stream being down for me to swap out the stream key from my YouTube stream key to my Twitch stream key, and then we'll be back up. So I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.